Welcome into some NBA DFS pre-lock with myself, J Jansen 34. That's where you can follow me. My name is Jon Jansen. My name is not J Jansen 34. It's Jon Jansen with the Twitter handle of J Jansen 34. Adam is his name with the Twitter handle of Buckend for Life. We'll do something about that Steelers hat, but other than that, how you doing, Adam? We're back to a nice little juicy NBA slate tonight.
Listen, I'm allowed to wear my Steelers hat. You're wearing I assume it's an Eagles hat?
Yeah, it is. It is.
All right. Well, you're an Eagles fan. I don't want to hear it.
Oh, come on, man.
Neither team has a quarterback, so neither team can talk.
No, not at all. At least Jalen Hurts can, walk
out of
the pocket.
Yeah, at least he's young and doesn't
right.
So
Right.
I'll give you that.
All right, let's not talk about crappy football because football was just about as crappy as you can get last night. So let's get into some NBA. We have what we have here is an 11-game. All I'm going to say is Philadelphia has a basketball team. Pitt doesn't. Very true, Brian. Very true. All facts.
I wish we did. That'd be awesome.
It would be, because then at least Philly would be able to beat Pitt in basketball. All right, so what do we got? What do we got on deck for tonight's slate? Because you mentioned something that is very weird when you have a slate that, I mean, look at the 11 and 10K guys on it, even the 9K. But seems like nobody wants to go for them.
It really doesn't, man, and it's kind of odd. So, it's an 11-game slate, a bigger one. So ownership's going to be a little more spread out than obviously we had last night. I get that. But at the same time, let's just get this spot out of the way. We'll go right to the Golden State Warrior game out on the West Coast against the Bulls. So the Bulls are short Nikola Vucevic. He's in health and safety protocols. He's going to be gone for at least, probably a week or so, maybe a little bit more. The absolute stone chalk of the night, highest owned projected player, is his backup, Tony Bradley. Makes all the sense in the world. Vooch is gone.
Sixers legend, right? Tony Bradley.
Sixers legend. It makes all the sense. He's bare minimum price on DK. You punt the center spot, you go elsewhere. But generally when we punt, and me and Ghost talk about it, pretty much all the time, when you punt, you want something in return, because that punt, even if it gets to that 6X, you get the little flame emoji, you might get 18, 20 DK points. You want to pair that with a stud that has ceiling, that can go for 60, that can go for 70. If you play Steph Curry, can go for 80. Nobody's doing that tonight, man. Like the top 10 in ownership, nobody's over $8,000. And I don't quite understand it.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird, especially with a lot of 10K guys. So does that mean we actually might be pivoting if we do a stars and scrubs lineup here?
I mean, at least as it's presented right now, it would be kind of a pivot. And, there is some attraction to just stay in this game, because with Vooch off the floor, DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, and Zach LaVine's going to be utter chalk on the night. Like if you're playing cash games, that's one of your building blocks. But these guys, see their usage shoot up. DeRozan is over 38%, and LaVine, in a very small sample size of just 36 minutes, he's over 40%. So I get it. You want these guys, but let's not forget, Golden State plays at a fast pace, but they're also the best defensive team in the league right now. That could get hurt if Draymond Green ends up sitting out. But even still, I think we could maybe do a little bit better than DeRozan and Zach LaVine in this spot.
Yeah, I think we definitely could.
Play him in cash by all means. I'm not arguing that.
Right.
But
no, I think for sure you can do better than that. Because so many spots again too.
Right, and there's a game that starts at the same exact time. The Lakers and the Wolves that are it's an elite game environment. We talk about that all the time. It has a 223 total, which is the same as the Bulls, but the spread's down to 2 points for the Warriors, or for the T-Wolves and the Lakers. We know the Lakers continue to be without LeBron James. You have Anthony Davis, who maybe people are shying away a little bit because he's almost 11K. That is a little bit scary for AD.
Right.
But he gets Karl Anthony Towns on the defensive end of the floor. If you've listened to us for even a minute, you know that Karl Anthony Towns does not defense. To quote Ghost, who's not
does not defense. Yes.
He does not defense. He does not know how to defense. He doesn't really care about trying to defense. And that's cool because he's an elite offensive player. But both the teams are in the top 10 in pace. The Lakers are still struggling defensively. The Wolves, their defensive rating looks solid. I'm still not buying into that. Like, you got to go for more than a 10-game sample for me to just throw out the past 3-4 years of what we expect you to be.
Yeah, is Anthony Davis? Because all right, let's do this actually. Since you brought up Anthony Davis, and we talked about people kind of staying away from the 10, 11K. I mean, who in this pool of players here at the top do you want to go with? Because it seems like if we can be different, it's going straight up stars and scrubs here. I don't know if that's possible. I'll ask this: is that possible on the slate going stars and scrubs? Is there enough value in that lower tier, low range that we can make that lineup work?
I think it is, because if you look at our model, we have, let's see, we have 2 players over 7x, and then we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. We have over 15 players over 6x, and it doesn't look like any of them are over about 4,500.
Love it.
Yeah,
perfect. Perfect.
I mean, if you look at the Win Daily Sports model that Ghost runs, you can very easily go stars and scrubs, and it starts with a double punt center. You can use Bradley, and you can use like JaVale McGee or LaMarcus Aldridge, who are still very affordable, and build your lineup completely different.
Yeah, I love that. So, with that being said now, because that seems like the way, I mean, just the way we're talking here, that's the way I would want to go. So, who out of these pool of star players, it's not the ones that, that you're specifically playing, but just in this pool of top, 10K, 11K, to even 12K Giannis. But out of those players, who are the ones in that pool that you're willing to put in your lineups?
So 12K Giannis is a little bit much for me.
Yeah.
And
especially
there's
against
a guy.
Boston. Don't love that.
Yeah, it's just, it's a fine spot, but 12K is a lot. I'm going to knock you down just a hair to the 9,400 range and go with show favorite of DeJounte Murray.
Oh, Ghost already put out a free bet. He
free bet
loves Murray's. Yep. PRAs, points, rebounds, and assists. I think he's going over on the PRA for Murray.
I think he went with rebounds and assists. It was 14.5.
Okay, you want rebounds and assists?
So,
nice.
I believe so. So, Murray's finally getting the pricing and respect he deserves, which I think some of the field has not adjusted to yet, because we've been accustomed to seeing him between 6,500, 7,500. Well, now he's 9,400, and everybody's like, nah, I'm out. You shouldn't be. Murray runs the Spurs offense, and he's played Dallas twice so far. He's posted 23-9-8 and a 23-10-8 in those 2 games. Ghost predicted this is the night that he lands the 20-point triple-double. I don't think he's fully wrong. And on DK, where that stuff's worth the bonus, I think he has an incredible ceiling that you can easily utilize the double punt center and get Murray in there and still have a good portion of the late-night hammer to carry yourself into the cash line.
I absolutely love that. Murray seems like a play I would be willing to go all in for, and Ghost does as well. So let's say.
And by the way,
yes.
Let me pull this up, because I know what he was earlier. He's projected for 2.5% ownership.
No,
that's GPP winning style play. If he goes,
yes, it is. That absolutely is. It seems like a GPP hammer, basically.
Yeah, absolutely. At 9,400 with a potential triple double that nobody's playing, you do love to see it.
Yeah. So double punt center. Does that mean we can get a 10K guy with Murray, or are you going 9.4K at the highest for Murray, and then we're kind of going a little bit down here into some of the mid tier, and obviously those 2 centers that we're going to punt with?
So for me, one of the guys that I do want to build with, and it was in Ghost article as well, if I'm going to play Davis, we want somebody to run it back, because we want the ceiling. We want this game to go nuts.
Yep.
Anthony Edwards really sticks out here. He gets the pretty putrid perimeter defense. Say that 20 times fast. I kind of started that before realizing where I was going.
No, he did well. He did it. I applaud it. Very well done.
I mean, we just saw Edwards flash a monster ceiling. I don't expect 48 points again. That's just not the way you play it. But I mentioned the Lakers are still struggling in defensive rating. Like, who's going to guard him? Russell Westbrook? Who's guarding him on the perimeter? Nobody. So if you're playing Anthony Davis and you want this game to go to 250, you're hoping, maybe an OT or something like that, you plug Anthony Edwards in, and then you still plug in your 2 punt centers, and you still have some stuff to work with here.
Yeah. There's plenty to work with. I can see, but yeah, if you go with the punt here and Tony Bradley, and see that's the one thing about GPPs I'm completely fine with. It's like eating a bunch of chalk like Tony Bradley. If I can get different in other spots,
Right,
it
and
seems
you're
like
combining
we're
it with
able to do that right now.
right. You combine Tony Bradley with DeJounte Murray.
Right,
You're different.
right.
Like right off the hop, just when a 2-man grouping, you're different. You don't need to get too crazy and find all these other plays that aren't chalky and get off the board. Because look, some of this chalk is good chalk. Like
Yep. Yeah.
Darius Garland, Ricky Rubio. These guys aren't bad plays by any stretch. They're totally fine plays, and that's what's pushing a guy like Murray down because people are just plugging in Rubio and Garland and Levine into all their guard spots, and pretty soon all the guard spots are gone.
Are we just plugging and playing Rubio, by the way?
I have no problem with that whatsoever. He didn't play as many minutes as I thought he might this past game. He topped out at 28, but we know he can play 32, 34. And I mean, look, he still gave you 36 DK points, didn't even shoot that well from the floor, and didn't play the minutes we expected.
Right.
His price rose $500.
It's just when he's on the floor, he does
so much.
Yeah.
Right. He does so much for that offense.
Well, they need him to. Like they need to run it through him, and he needs to be almost Superman for when he's on the court.
Superman Ricky Rubio.
Right. Well, but that's the thing though. It's like it's one thing to get minutes and have that in the back of our minds, but somebody that has such his usage rate and somebody that has such a green light to do whatever they want.
Exactly.
That's something it's really hard to pass that up,
especially when he wasn't priced accurately. We talked the other day when he was like 80%, I think, in cash. He was 5,200, and we said, well, it's basically a free square. He should be 1,000 more. He didn't get to 1,000 more, so he's still pretty much a free square.
Yeah, I love it. We know Noel is out, so Taj Gibson season, is that legit? Is it Taj Gibson season?
I'm pretty sure once the model updates, and that should be coming.
It's probably gonna show up that way.
I would imagine he'll be up there. But again, we do have. It's weird because center is like one of the spots tonight that, I mean, you can kind of pick your poison because there's quite a few cheap guys that can really make your
I love that
work
though.
here.
Yeah, I love that because still it's just ways to continue to be a little bit different, and that can also mean punting on a bunch of different centers and getting different combinations of that. So what are some games here? Because you mentioned Chicago, and you mentioned that Chicago Golden State game, Lakers Minnesota. Anything else? Brooklyn New Orleans. I know that's one we always like to pick on that New Orleans matchup.
That's one that I really like, and it's kind of along the same lines of, okay, if you're gonna punt one center spot, you can do that, and then instead of going with DeJounte Murray, you can take Anthony Davis out. You can throw James Harden in the guard spot, and instead of punting both center spots, you can play Jonas Valanciunas as the run back. That can be your little two-man stack to be different. I mean, Ingram might be back tonight, which he's missed, I think, the last 6 or 7 games. But there's two things with that. A, he's coming off a hip injury. I don't know if I really fully expect him to be like full go after missing almost 2 weeks. B, even if he does, Valanciunas was leading the Pelicans in touches when Ingram was active. He gets the cakewalk matchup of the Brooklyn interior. They're in the bottom 10 of points in the paint. And yeah, Valanciunas can do more than that. He can step out to the three-point line every now and again. But he's second in rebounding chances as well. Like, he should just be able to absolutely destroy that interior for Brooklyn.
Yeah, we got a good question here. Who do you like most out of KD, AD, and Randall?
I think, man, that is tough. It's always hard to go against KD.
It is.
But I do like AD the best out of that bunch. It is close. I wouldn't tell you you're wrong to play any of them, but I'd have him AD, Durant, Randall, and they're all really close.
Love it. So, all right, this is another game that we do like, Brooklyn and New Orleans. Anything else? I just want to go over some of the games that we do like. Or do you want to just go over some of the games you are throwing away? You know, where do you want to go? I guess I'll leave it open to you here because there's 11 games. There's a lot to go over, and I think we've already gone over a couple of different lineup combinations that you can go with, ways you can go, especially now with what you said about Brooklyn. I do love the idea of Valanciunas and Harden, and then building a little bit that way. There's some interesting combinations you can go with in a few of these different games. So I'll open this up to you in this 11-game slate. Game you want to throw away, game that you really like. I'll leave that open to you.
So the next one we can talk about is the Suns at Grizzlies, because it also has one of the higher totals on the board, and I'm looking. It might be the tightest spread of the night as well.
Yep, I love that.
It's a 1.5 point spread. Looks like the Bucks and the Celtics are one, so it's second on the board as far as spread goes. And man, there's just so much to like in this game. Like on the Grizzlies side, you have John Morant, who just continues to just be a monster. And Ayton is probably going to be out for the Suns. Like, Morant gets so much work done in the paint. Am I going to fear JaVale McGee or our boy Frank the Tank?
Stop it.
For
I don't want to ever hear that guy's no. I don't ever want to hear that guy's name again. Stop it.
So you're not going to like this, but the pick and roll data really is behind Kaminsky here. Like, he runs it to the second highest frequency of the league so far, and it's a little bit skewed because he's been a part-time player.
Are you telling me I got to play Frank the Tank again? Is that what
Memphis? Memphis is one of the bottom 5 teams in defending pick and roll in frequency, points per possession, real points, field goal percentage allowed. Yeah, they're really bad at defending the pick and roll. So Kaminsky has arguably one of the best passing point guards of the history of the league, at the very least in the past 30, 35 years. Feeding him the ball. I'm not saying he's going to score 40 again. I'm not going that bold. But at 5,500, he can get a lot done in the paint and the pick and roll game.
It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. I can't believe we're doing this again. We're going to do this. But obviously, I was wrong the last time, so good chance I could be wrong again this time.
So Dylan Brooks is back out. He played a game, come back from broken hand. They're going to sit him tonight. I really don't love Bane in this spot because
I was about to ask, because just since this is a mock lineup build, somebody could be in a spot here where they are needing a small 4 to 5K, and of course, I see Bane there, but no.
Right, I would get it, but as Ghost preaches all the time, we don't always love wings against the Suns. You have guys like Bridges out there.
Desmond Bane had a great game last game too.
Yeah, I mean that's not going to help, but. It's one of the things like nobody's going to play because they're going to look at that and go 2.75 DK points. What the hell? And nobody's going to want to go there.
1 of 10.
He went full Korkmaz.
That's not right.
So we
can't go full Korkmaz.
No, don't go full Korkmaz. That's all bad. We can move some things around a little bit, but I would prefer Melton. We played Bane and Melton without Brooks like religiously for the first 2 weeks of the season. They were chalk every single slate. Nobody's playing him tonight. The situation hasn't really changed. I mean, Brooks is back. It's the exact situation that everybody ran to. Pricing's not different. The situation's not different right now. Why not play these guys? If you were happy to do it 2 weeks ago, you should be happy to do it now at a much lower ownership on this large of a slate.
So this is the winning lineup then? That's what you're telling me. This one. I already won.
It doesn't look that bad.
Yeah. Right. That's what I like about this is because this even started as a different build,
right.
But we were able to go in so many different spots, and I forget the other two that we had, but we were able to switch them out with James Harden and put in there Jonas Valanciunas, and then we kind of worked that way, that narrative in that game, and now we were able to get a lineup like this. So yeah, I guess what I'm seeing here and what we've been going through, like there is so many different ways I think to build your lineup. In this
yeah, I mean, on 11
it's a really interesting one.
There's always going to be some different paths to take, but really the gist of it is don't be afraid to eat some chalk.
Yep.
And then just find that one little spot, that DeJounte Murray, one of the 10K guys, because literally the only guy above 10K that's projected for anything over 10% is Giannis, and there's it might be AD. But that's it. Like, everyone else is sub 10%, and it boggles my mind with a clear punt center on the board.
Yeah. Clear punt center and a clear Ricky Rubio play, of course.
Yes.
And a Frank Kaminsky play. And 11 game slates. All right, so let's do this then. We're going to have some lineup questions.
Yeah.
We got this from Jimmy Wagner, Murray, Cody Martin, Edwards, AD. I don't know, LMA. Am I missing who that is? Rubio, Lyles, Isaiah Stewart.
That's Aldridge, if I'm not mistaken. So it would be in the center spot.
Okay, LMA, yeah.
I
thought he was laughing at me.
as long it looks like I'm looking at the model right now, some of the punt plays check out, so I'm totally cool with that.
Awesome. Okay. So hey, Jimmy Wagner, classic model guy.
And has that little Edwards AD stack that we really like.
Yes, that we went over too. Yeah, I like this. Tijon Mustard, Caleb Martin, Grayson, KD, Bradley, a fake Mello. Fake Mello. That's fantastic.
What? Oh, Brian,
there's a lot going.
There's some days with this. So
yeah, there's a lot going on that one. In terms of the nicknames,
I think what it amounted to is he needed a 4.3 utility.
Yeah,
and he suggested Aldridge. That would probably be where I would lean.
Okay, so Aldridge is A-okay for you tonight.
Yes, absolutely.
Awesome. Another one here from Jimmy. Murray, Martin, Edwards, Davis, Aldridge, Rubio, Frank, Bradley. Fake Mello is Carmelo. No, get out of here.
I knew fake Mello was Carmelo because he's a Mello guy.
Unbelievable. Is he a La Mello guy? Not a Carmelo guy? LaMelo is a real Mello. Unbelievable. Brian's starting fights here. Brian's coming at me.
It's
now.
real Mello.
Coming at us.
Was LaMelo even born yet when Carmelo started? Get out of here.
Oh, that's a great question. Was he? Oh,
I'm sure he was.
We all know who the real Mello is. Mello is no. I love LaMelo, but he's not Carmelo.
I do like this one from Jimmy as well.
Nice. Okay. What do you? Okay, Bradley, Frank. I was about to ask, what do you like about it? But obviously, we went over a lot of those plays.
It does the double punt center. It has a little game stat, and he still has DeJounte on top of that. I love that.
Man, all right. So it sounds like people are checking the model, listening to us tonight. Pat Bev's versus Russ. Only time I might actually play Bev. I do not recommend that. I do not recommend that.
I mean,
or do you recommend that? Do you actually recommend that?
Recommend might be a strong word, but he is one of those guys that's over 6x in the model. He's 4,200. It's one of those great game environments. I'm not going to argue with you if you slot him in. I won't.
Westbrook triple-dub.
I mean...
Westbrook go over 60.
I hope he's talking DK because God knows that man ain't scoring 60 points.
Yeah, he's not.
Dude, seriously, what are you doing in the last possession of the Heat game? You just sit there and ISO. Move the ball. You don't hit those shots, bro. You just don't.
But the thing is, I think everybody's been telling Russell Westbrook that for about 10 years now, and Russell Westbrook
he still hasn't got it. Yeah, he
doesn't care. The most inefficient shooter I have ever seen in my life. That's why when the whole big Ben Simmons he doesn't shoot enough. If he's inefficient like Westbrook, I don't want him to shoot. Do not do it. Don't shoot at all. Actually,
I need the.
I know that's a little
overboard that Westbrook has with 5 seconds to go. If I had that confidence, man.
Yeah,
I can get anything done.
Is that Creed, the band Creed? I'm assuming is that what that person's name? Isaiah Stewart. Is that because I saw it in a lineup and it seemed like you were okay with that? But I guess elaborate more because we didn't really talk about Isaiah Stewart.
Yeah, he's definitely a fine play. He is one of the chalkier guys that people are using for the savings. So if you are spending down at center. It's generally Bradley, it's Stewart, it's Aldridge, it's guys like that. So if you use one or two of them, like I said, just make sure you're getting different elsewhere. Play the DeJounte, play AD, play one of these guys that's not really projected for ownership instead of.
You have really sold me on Murray, by the way. I am all in.
That's all.
Yes,
good,
the band. Yes, Creed fans love it. Absolutely love it. You are welcome in the show anytime. Is that Creed? Rubio, G. Allen, Bain, Randall, Bradley, Murray, Barton, Aldridge.
Like I said, I'm not completely in love with the Bane play, but he can't possibly play worse than he did last game. So
are you sure? 0 for 10?
He can't do that. He can't go for under 3 DK again. He can't do it.
Yeah, it's not possible. I see a question about Porzingis with a bunch of laughing faces.
Oh, man. Here we go.
No. So live line, another one here from Brian. I just like going over these because Brian is one who goes through a lot of great lineup combinations. It seems like I actually like this one here too.
I would say just grab whatever forward kind of fits that's left at the 3.8 range. Check on Peyton Jr. I'm not sure about that one. That would be my one. I know he's been playing well. Let me see. Because I don't see him in the model right now. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little thin there. I get it. I think Brian plays GP too, like every single night, but I can't necessarily say that's supported by what we're seeing. We'll leave it at that.
Awesome. All right. Well, I feel like we went through this slate very well. It's a Friday. Let's enjoy the Friday. Let's win. Let's get some winners over here at WinDailySports.com. By the way, this is all sponsored by, as you see on the bottom left of the screen, all sponsored by the Sharp app. Go to sharp.link. You can find all the ways to download the Sharp app. So make sure sharp.link is the link that you go to, and you'll be able to see all the ways you can download Sharp. Also, WinDailySports.com. Sign up, a gold membership. Look, the Discord chat, that's where Adam is going to be, and a lot are going to be for NBA. They're there every single night helping you pre-lock to help you with your NBA DFS lineups. But this weekend, we're obviously to another Sunday and another NFL slate. And they're there. Look, there are a couple of injuries we're kind of looking at late game time decisions. So make sure you're caught up to date. Oh, no. What happened?
I got to stop you. We got to stay on for a couple more minutes.
Oh, no. What happened? What do we do?
Giannis just got ruled out.
Of course he did. All right. Well, hold on.
Of course he did.
All right.
So
let's go straight to it.
Back up.
Let's go straight to it.
Yep. Let's talk about it.
So we're putting Giannis in. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, we're not going to put Giannis in.
We're not doing that.
it would be the worst $12K you ever spend in daily fantasy sports. That's for sure. Give me 2 seconds here to pull this up because I believe this is the first game Giannis has missed. So we're probably not going to have a giant sample size. Man, the freaking Bucks, they have just
I'll ask this just as sort of a strategy thing here. How many people are looking, pre-lock and able to get these plays? Like, are these going to be enough where these aren't chalky or everybody's going to flock to this now because it's not, as Ghost would say, the new news, or this is the new news.
Everybody's running. It's only 6:05, so it'll definitely be. I would say at least Portis, Allen, and I would probably say Drew Holiday are going to be chalk on this slate by the time it rolls around.
And would you sign off? Which ones would you sign off on there?
So I definitely want Portis because he's been playing 30, 32 minutes regardless. I would definitely say Holiday hasn't played super well since he's come back from the ankle injury, but they don't really have a choice here.
Right, the usage is just going to be
through the
roof. Yeah,
because Chris Middleton's still out too, which kind of
So we've been seeing 30. Is it expected he goes up to about 35 minutes?
I would have to think so. So it's going to be Drew because he's not even 7K. So it's going to be Drew, Portis. I would bet Giannis is going to. I gotta even look at who they've been starting lately because I haven't been playing as many Bucks. So it's Portis, Drew Holiday are like the first two in your lineup right now. They just have to be. And then past that, Grayson Allen's probably going to be chalky because they're still going to need people to shoot.
Yeah, we're already seeing a lot of Grayson Allen.
Yeah, I don't know if I really want 4 Bucks on this large of a slate because we do have other again new news. Yes, it's a big part of the slate, but don't go so crazy if you're playing 4 or 5 Bucks and forgetting about the other 10 games on the slate because that in my opinion would be a mistake.
So the real Antetokounmpo.
Here we
go. About that, but
yeah,
sure,
so
he's certainly Fajita Friday. Oh, is that Ghost checking in? Fajita
that is
Friday.
Ghost.
Love it. Good stuff. Nwora boost too.
Yeah, the Nwora's going to a nice boost off the bench. I mean, the secondary guys like Nwora, Pat C. I would think Giannis is going to slide into the starting lineup because they've been running Hill, Portis, Holiday, Giannis, and Grayson as their starters. So, and Antetokounmpo probably just swaps. And then you're looking off the bench of Connaughton, Semi Ojeleye, and Nwora. Any of those guys are in play. The priorities are Portis, Holiday, Grayson, and then the secondary guys, Hill, Connaughton, Semi, and Nwora, you're going to mix in here and there.
Okay, so that's a good look at the Milwaukee Bucks. Again, let's go through real quick. How many would you want to get in your lineups? How many is too many? Because I think this is, as
4.
Ghost again would say, the new news.
Right.
So everybody's going to flock to it.
I think you probably want at least 2. you're going to eat Holiday and Portis, and I'm really not going to complain. That's fine. If you want a third with Grayson, or you want to go with Anwar off the bench, totally cool. I'm probably not going to go 4.
Love it. Last question here. I know we talked about Isaiah Stewart. Jeff Green, though.
Jokic is back, so probably not, especially not with everything that's going on.
All right, that'll wrap it up here. Good 30 minutes here on a Fajita Friday. Again, WinDailySports.com. Be there in the Discord chat. Again, that's the best place to be. And go to WinDailySports.com, go to the Academy tab, and that's where you can see how you can sign up for the Discord chat and subscribe to it, because that's where you can get, like right now, Giannis is out, so I guarantee you go in the Discord chat now, everybody's going to be talking about that and some of the ways they're going to be attacking that Milwaukee lineup. And we'll do it the same for Sunday morning as well for the NFL DFS slate. We'll be in there. A lot of guys that are going to be game time decisions, especially a couple of quarterbacks. So that is also something you need to be in the Discord chat for. That is it for us. My name is Jon Jansen. Follow me at jjansen34. That's Adam. Follow him at BuckN for life. And we'll be back for more this weekend, especially Sunday morning at 11 a.m. right here at